You can bet a lot of people in Alberta would like to have FaceTime with Justin Trudeau as he visits there. Chad Miller is one of them. He's an Oilfield consultant and the founder of Oilfield Dads, a website that helps support unemployed oil workers. We've reached him outside the Alberta legislature right now, where he is waiting there, hoping to meet the Prime Minister. So, Chad, hello to you and thank you for joining us. What do you want to say to Justin Trudeau?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on the show here. I want to take this opportunity to reach out to all the oil field workers that are unemployed, and I'm trying to be the voice of the voiceless here at this moment. I know a lot of what I have to say is going to rest on a lot of these oil field workers out there. So, what I would have to say to Mr. Trudeau is what are we supposed to hang on to? There's nothing here for us to hang on to left. There's people out there that are losing their homes. Their families. The suicide rates in Alberta have gone up over 30% in the last year. People are in dire need here now, and for an answer here to hang in there is not a question or an answer that anybody wants to hear at this moment. The answer is, what are we going to do now? What are you going to do to help us, go forward with this?
Well, and as you talk about all the struggle that's happening in Alberta with the oilfield workers, and certainly also in parts of Saskatchewan and Newfoundland and Labrador, you yourself are struggling right now. Tell us a bit of your story.
Well, I'm a subcontractor, so first of all, I'm not eligible for EI. I don't pay into it so I can't even collect it. So that there, I put away 6 months worth of savings here to hopefully tide me over. Which I've been off work for over the last couple of months, and I've only worked 5 months out of the last year. So it's really troublesome, but also I also had to look at the bright side of being home with my family and spending more time with them, right? There's a positive aspect to all this as well, but it does try on you and a lot of families when your savings are going down, and a lot of people have been out of work for over a year now. So it's tiring and frustrating for a lot of people. I created the Oilfield Dads Facebook group because I felt this global downturn was different from the 08-09, and I wanted to see if I wasn't the only one out there. And by way of popular demand and feedback, there was a lot of people like myself going through the same things, and I was able to help a lot of people through the support in my fan page and website here to help lift their spirits just a little bit, and opportunities are made more so than they're given, and necessity breeds ingenuity. So I'm hoping what I get here today is a chance just to put a plug in his ear to check out my site, check out what real Albertans are going through at this moment.
Well, I think a lot of people are certainly feeling for you, and I'm sure there's sympathy as people hear your story and the stories of oilfield workers across the country. But right now, people keep pointing to pipelines, but even pipelines will be a few years before the impact of that would actually be felt economically. What can the federal and provincial governments do realistically right now to help people who are feeling the pain in the current time as opposed down the road?
Well, like I mentioned here on Global TV here last Friday, if I were Premier, I would have dropped the royalty rates. Everybody's waiting for the big royalty review, and it didn't change anything. They're going to stay the same. But that doesn't drive any investors coming into our province to give us any employment as for now, right? That's just prolonging it down in the future. The oil economies or the oil commodity is low right now, but we need some activity, right now. And what I think and feel for myself would be, what can they do for us at this moment? Well, you want to talk about innovation and want to talk about sustainable resources and going to the future. How can we afford to even go to school and take the time to educate ourselves when we're worried about feeding our families and losing the house or the roof over our heads, right? So, if they were to, and this is just putting it out there, if they were to freeze debt, a mortgage, that you wouldn't be able to worry about, you wouldn't have to worry about paying your mortgage or your vehicle payment, so you could actually find a job, put some food on the table for your family, whether or not it be a freeze for 6 months to a year to help us out now, so we can, use these opportunities now given to us that we can apply to go to school. And the people that do apply to go to school to better themselves into the new, to be innovative, or to start that new business, or what have you, then you can exceed it and help them out to that extending 6 months for that year. Now, there's a lot of consultants and people out there.
Sorry, and there's a lot that you're listing there, but ultimately, when you speak to Justin Trudeau today, if you get a chance to speak to the Prime Minister, what do you want him to say to you?
I want a real answer of what this hang in there is. I want to know what he's going to do now. We as Canadians, we give the shirts off our back to everybody and billions of dollars in foreign aid, but the ground below us is crumbling right now. We can't afford to give out anybody, but we got to focus on helping ourselves here now. Sure, there's helping people else, but we still have to learn how to help ourselves to help other people.
Chad, thank you very much for your time. I know you're standing out there in the cold waiting for the Prime Minister. And again, we thank you very much for joining us today. That is Chad Miller live outside the Alberta Legislature in Edmonton. He is the founder of Oilfield Dads, an online support group.